Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved. I'm here today at one of our community outreach days with our sound truck. And our sound truck is used for just what you see. We come out to community days, we play loud music, and be able to just have a good time with it and enjoy our community. Our sheriff's office, you get to see us in a little different light. We're not always out there writing tickets or locking people up. We come out to your community day and be a part of your day and help you celebrate your community. And this is just one of the ways that we can do that, was with our sound truck. We're here today in one of our communities. We brought our ice cream truck out. A lot of people like to laugh when I say the sheriff's office owns an ice cream truck, but this is exactly what it's for, is we bring it out to our communities. We give away ice cream. We don't charge for the ice cream. The ice cream is free. And we have partners in our businesses in our community that help pay for the ice cream so that we can give it away for free. And we give it away. We go to schools. This is just one of many events that we bring our ice cream truck to. We go to the school systems. We come out to community days, block parties. We just come out and see you and help you enjoy and celebrate your community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? Do you have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you,
Thank
too.
you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to another great show with Ask Coach Roy. The phones have already been ringing. Tonight's show is about personal credit, which is a hot topic. Business credit, which is another hot topic. LLC versus corporation, which is a hot topic to me because you need to know your structure before you get started. As well as business funding, which is a hot topic. So here we go again. Let me get this call. Hello, welcome to the Coach Roy Show.
How you doing, Coach Roy? This is Stefan.
Hey, Stefan, how you doing, my man?
Doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay, what question you have for me tonight?
All right. So I have a question, and I want to know what is the difference between an LLC versus a S.Corp.
What's the difference between an LLC and an S.Corp? That's a good question. Some of you who've been viewing weekly may already know, this is basically a review. But these are the questions that I'm getting emails, Twitters, tweets, different things of that nature. So the LLC, which is a limited liability company, it's a company that it will prevent you from, it will protect your assets. In other words, if you own a small business and you have something to go wrong and someone decide to sue you, then it will protect against your house, your car, and your personal assets. A S-Corp would do the same thing. However, a S-Corp gives you the protection of helping you with self-employed tax if you're profitable, as well as the S-Corp has a few more things that you have to do to stay in compliance. And if you don't stay in compliance, then they will pierce the corporate veil. So a lot of small businesses, the first thing they do when they get ready to go in business, they get a limited liability company, an LLC.
Okay. And so the steps to every step, so personal credit, business credit, LLC versus S-Corp. So what about the business funding? So how do they go about that? The process for that.
Well, notice I have it a 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually,
right, that's the last step.
If I was thinking, I should have written this one first, because you need to determine what type of structure before you get into anything else. So, but personal credit is something that we need to deal with to create our flexibility. And if the personal credit is good, we can extradite the business credit or the business funding. So the personal credit is very important. But the business funding, the question you're asking about, there are steps that has to take place in terms of determining what type of structure, LLC, S.Corp, C.Corp, then getting net 30s and your EIN number. So it's a probably, I'd like to say, is a 6-tier process or a 6-step process.
Got you. And I had one more question for you guys.
Okay.
So what would you say would be a fair credit score to determine that? Like, from what range? Like, from 5 to like 7? Like, what would be like the maximum that you need and the minimum?
I mean, it somewhat depends. For personal purchases or business credit purchases, which are you talking about?
I would say a business.
So if you wanted to personally guarantee, which we call PG, behind the business, I would say the minimum would be a 680.
Okay, 680.
But just saying credit score can be tricky because you could have what I call an inflated score. And an inflated score could be where you have one credit card, or you have an authorized user from a friend or a family member, or one that you purchase online. And that one credit card with a good rating and at least 6 months or more history, sometimes it could produce a 700 score. But depending on what you're trying to purchase, and if it has to go to the underwriter, they will know that that's not really your credit, it's an authorized user. Meaning you're piggybacking off someone else's credit. So so the 700 score or 680 score does not give you automatic approval.
Right. Okay. So it's more that they look. Okay.
Yes, it's a little more to it than that.
This is definitely that's definitely interesting. Like, that's definitely interesting.
Okay.
Like, great. That's great. Those are the questions. Thank you so much for that.
All right. Thank you for calling in. I noticed there was another caller trying to call in. Call back in. Call back here at Ask Coach Roy. And again, tonight we're trying to take as many calls as possible, answer as many questions, and also have you to go to coach-roy.com and look at our website. There are a lot of things that could help you on that site, and check that site every 3 days. Every 3 days, we'll add new material, things that could benefit you in your business and in your personal credit search. Okay, again, with personal credit, a lot of times people get stuck as that gentleman was on the score. It's more to it than score. In addition to that, I've had a call earlier, before we got started, a gentleman called in and he was saying how he was a convicted felon and he has a problem applying for rental property. He has to always deal with a personal or a private landlord as opposed to going through a real estate agency or an apartment complex. Well, in the next 2 or 3 days, we're going to have a form on there for $19.99 that will help you to block the apartment complexes and credit bureaus from picking up on your conviction as well as your eviction. Because what we don't know is that there's I call them secondary credit companies. These secondary credit companies sell information to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. They sell public records, they sell evictions, convictions, all types of information, old phone numbers, addresses, and things of that nature. So we have a couple of forms that are going to be placed on the site that's going to help you to opt out of these situations, and therefore when you're making applications, you won't be denied because of information being bought by the credit bureaus from these secondary lenders. Okay? The next thing I want to make you aware of is that you could actually freeze your credit report. You could freeze your TransUnion, freeze your Experian, freeze your Equifax. Let's say that you know that, first of all, I'd like for everyone to get a credit monitoring service. The one I recommend is creditchecktotal.com. It's very easy to read. It's inexpensive. It will show you all three reports. You may have a situation where your Experian is a 700, your Equifax is a 600, and your TransUnion is a 550. You can freeze your TransUnion, and you can freeze your Equifax. And if Experian is your high score, you don't have to freeze it. And when you make an application, if they pull those reports or try and pull all three, they can't get the other two. So that would be a situation where you won't be denied because of the other bureaus falling short of the minimum required for what you're trying to purchase. Okay? Another thing I'm trying to give out little pointers tonight. Little things that will help you get your approvals. Earlier, when Stefan was asking about the highest and lowest credit score, some things, and I mentioned to him about authorized users. Some of you may not know what an authorized user is. An authorized user is simply getting a family member, friend, or you could buy a trade line online. Basically, someone adds you to their credit card, but they do not allow you to use the card. They don't give you the card. They add you, and it's a card that they've been paying on and hadn't had any late payments, and it can't be a card that's that the limit is maxed out. So if it's a $5,000 limit, it can't be at $5,000 or $5,500 or $4,000. It needs to be at 30% or less. So that means 30% of $5,000 is $1,500. So that person whose credit card, they need to have that credit card at a $1,500 or less limit at the time of reporting. And if it's at that 30% or less, it's going to give them the maximum help in terms of boosting their score as well as anyone that they put on as an authorized user. Now, the history makes a difference also. It depends on how long they've had the card. Normally, the minimum would be 6 months. But if they had the card 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, that shows a lot of history. And history allow the system to give you automatic approvals. Okay. A lot of times I've had I had a call earlier. Like I say, the phone been ringing off the hook the day prior to the show. Let's see, I got one I wrote down right here. Someone called in and he asked, how do I remove 30-day lates from my credit file if the 30-day lates are back in 2016, 2017? Well, caller, the answer to that is coach-roy.com. We have a letter that will remove old lates. But I recommend to you to go to creditchecktotal.com, look at your overall report, because 2016, 2017, a 30-day late is probably not impacting your score. By taking those lates off, you're probably not going to gain any points. It just looks good depending on what type of purchase you're making. like the purchase of a home, it looks good if the lates weren't there because the underwriter is really looking at how you paid your bills in the past. So that's the only time I would recommend even attempting to remove them. Okay? All right, hopefully that answers your question. We had 3 or 4 callers trying to call in. Go ahead and call now. The lines are open. And the number is 770-485-7724. Okay? All right. Now, dealing with personal credit a little further, the one thing I don't want you to do is to do online disputes. If you attempt to do online disputes, normally the credit bureaus are going to verify that information, send you a letter saying it's yours. And the biggest thing that I think the consumer doesn't understand is who, let's say, who is the credit bureau's client? Do we honestly know who the credit bureau's client is? The client is the furnisher. The furnisher meaning the creditor, meaning Macy's, Belk, American Express, Nordstrom's. Let's get this call. Hello, Coach Roy, may I help you?
Yes, Coach Roy, this is Vanessa, and you were talking about the credit bureaus, and I wanted to know how you freeze your credit on the other two if Experian gets you the best credit score.
Okay, it's a simple process. Basically, you would contact the credit bureau, and you really don't have to contact them. You can write them and send in a copy of your Social Security card, your driver's license, and a bill with the same address as your driver's license. You send that bill in, you send those 3 documents in, and you write a simple statement saying that you want a freeze on your credit file. And they will end up sending a letter back out to you and put a freeze on, or they may send for additional information and tell you how they want you to do it.
Okay, great.
Then when creditor, let's say you go to purchase a car. When they go to pull your credit, they won't be able to pull that bureau.
Oh, very good, because I'm about getting ready to do that. Thank you.
Okay, and then sometimes what will happen, depending on the car lot, they may call you and say, hey, do you have a freeze or something on your file? We need you to unfreeze it if you want to get this car. So it works both ways now, Vanessa.
Okay, gotcha.
But
that is good stuff. Thank you, sir.
But normally you can find out. We're getting ready to take a commercial break, and when I come back, I'm gonna talk to you about I'm gonna tell y'all about another. Give you some more free information. Credit boards. I'm gonna tell you something about credit boards.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Again, I think the last caller, Miss Vanessa, had a question about the freeze. We disclosed that. And now I'm going to take this call, but I'm going to tell you about something very important. Hello. Welcome to Ask Coach Roy. How may I help you?
Yes, sir. I'm noticing your subject tonight on your agenda is your personal credit, business credit, LLC versus S.Corp, and business funding. I want to know what is the most efficient way to leverage your business for business funding, initial funding. And what would you recommend?
All right. I got one of them technical people on the phone. Say that again. Let me make sure I give you the right answer. The best way to leverage your business.
Most efficient way. We know traditional lending, when you go into a financial institution to leverage your business, they're going to want to know how long you've been in business and how much revenue you incur, and what's your debt-to-income ratio.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking, what would be the most efficient way to go about leveraging your business, even if you've been in business a short period of time? Is there a more effective way than traditionally going into a bank, just getting started from scratch to build a relationship like you would your personal credit? May take you 5, 6, 7 years to build that. Is there a more efficient way to?
I just figured out who you are, so let me go to what I know where you're going. But go ahead, I hear you. While I put it together for you right quick, keep talking.
Well, I know I've noticed several ads that tell you that you can buy a shell corporation that has a history already, that's already registered. Is that feasible when you have a business that may not necessarily have a good structure, but can use a little support to build your relationship with financial institutions? So would it be better to partner with the shell corporation in order to be more established, in order to kind of ease that beginning relationship with a lending institution?
Well, let me. You put a lot on me. Okay. First of all, I'm a lead to the latter. Okay. Let's start with your first question of, is there a non-traditional way to fund your business because of the fact that you are a small business? They want to know your debt-to-income ratio. They want your bank statements. They want to know how long you've been in business and so on and so forth. And the answer to whether you're going to get funded from the bank at that point is no. So one of the more non-traditional ways of doing things is the first thing you want to do is to determine whether you're going to be a S.Corp or LLC. Once you make that determination, you're going to structure your S.Corp or LLC. If it's a LLC, it's units. If it's a corp, it's shares. But you're going to structure whether it's 1 million units or 1 million shares, okay? Once you structure the 1 million units, 1 million shares, you're going to turn around and do a PPM, which, as you very well know, is a private placement memorandum, okay? And I'm using the acronym for the purpose of saving space. So you're going to do a PPM. That PPM, for the sake of time, we're going to call that a sophisticated business plan that you're going to be able to take to the marketplace to angel investors and so on and so forth. But on that PPM, you're going to make it a 504 Reg D. That 504 Reg D will allow you to raise $1 million a year, and you won't have to deal, it doesn't matter, you won't have to deal with sophisticated investors. They don't have to be registered. It allows you to go to your friends, your family members, angel investors, so on and so forth. That Reg D 504, now when you set your company up in 1 million shares, you decide day one that each share is worth $5. Share or unit.
So may I interject for a second? So basically what you just shared with me is a more efficient way to not only leverage and fund my business, but also a more efficient way to even structure my business.
Correct.
So chances are that beats the long time establishing with a lending institution that basically, if they want me to go and build the lines of credit and the streams of revenue, and then they allow me to borrow after I build. But what you're telling me is that I'm able to leverage my structure and present it to potential investors and be funded. And through that funding, then I could start off probably 5 to 10 years ahead with that 504 or that PPM that you mentioned. Where can I go to find more information about the subject matter that you just mentioned?
Well, again, as I stated earlier, sir, I've been, it's so overwhelming when you sit down to think and try and put all this information in one space. So every 3 or 4 days, we're consistently upgrading coach-roy.com website where you will have access to this information, point you in the right direction, and we will also be able to refer you to people that do PPMs and Reg Ds and so on and so forth, attorneys and everything. So when you start talking about building a business and jumping out the gate and running, this is the best thing I ever seen. A lot of people don't even know about it, never heard of it. If I wanted to start a nightclub, a restaurant, a trucking company.
I started with what's been advertised to me, and that's Chef Course, and you just took me from zero to hero, so I can appreciate your expertise. I definitely look forward to following Coach Roy, and definitely partnering up with any of the service that you recommend. So I will be making note from my initial question to inquire more about the PPM, more about the way that you mentioned the structure. So will this show be available? Will it be recorded? Will I be able to go back and listen to it?
You'll be able to go back on YouTube and look at it and Facebook as well.
Oh, excellent. So thank you again.
It should be showing on the screen where you'll be able to go. But the latter question, S.Corp, I do need to touch on that because you brought it up, okay? That the S.Corp is something that you see when you Google, you hear people talking about S.Corps, but a lot of times they're in Nevada, they're in Wisconsin, and what have you, or they just may be in another state. And you have to be careful with S.Corp because people will advertise them saying that they have credit, they have trade lines and so on and so forth. When you buy those S.Corps, you won't be able to access those trade lines. You won't have any credit that you can use, so you have to be careful with that. And if they start telling you that they're going to sell you a S.Corp with bank accounts and things of that nature, you're about to get ripped off. And this is what I want you to understand. If you're in, let's say, what state are you in, sir?
North Carolina.
Okay, let's say you're in North Carolina, and you decide you already have a LLC or S.Corp. You decide to replace that or put your company under the umbrella of the S.Corp. You buy the S.Corp, but the S.Corp is out of Tennessee. So now when you start dealing with lending and funding, they want your company address, correct?
Correct.
So how you can't make that work. Now what you're able to do, this is a little catch-22, you got to take that corp and you have to register it in the state of North Carolina as a foreign entity under you and your company, and then that address in Tennessee would be a second address or a second location. So it's some twists in there when you start dealing with shell corps. So you still need to have someone that knows what they're doing in order to make the shell corp work. Okay, well, we're going to come back. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we're going to come back to Ask Coach Roy, and we'll follow up with a little more information on the shell corp. Callers, please call in. The night is structured around calling in on personal credit, business credit, and business funding. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dynasty. Welcome to TV 1061. Join our network and broadcast your event live across the continent. Come to our studio and film and stream your talk show, sitcom, showcase, and broadcast it worldwide. Combine multimedia with your live stream. Independent filmmakers, show your movie and afterwards interview your cast live. Sponsors, advertisers, I'm talking to you. This is your chance for global exposure. These are very exciting times we live in. Traditional TV is all but a thing of the past. TV 1061 is now on the Roku platform with a viewership of 46 million and counting. Roku is an industry leader in internet TV. It is the most popular and fastest growing internet TV platform. If you are interested in developing and streaming your own show or movie, or coming in as a sponsor or an advertiser, please send your contact information with a short description of your interest to 1061tv@gmail.com. Thank you.
How can you find a reliable source of CBD products? Introducing Holistic Wellness Boutique, a revolutionary collection of CBD tinctures, CBD topicals, CBD edibles, CBD pet products, and other relevant CBD products that help you incorporate CBD into your everyday lifestyle. The best part? Through our special Radiant Transformations program, Dr. Alea Daniel, PharmD, a well-regarded wellness coach, licensed pharmacist, and the mind behind the idea of Holistic Wellness Boutique, will also introduce you to a healthier lifestyle through proper education, nutrition, and a thorough medication evaluation to make the most of our exemplary CBD products. If you are struggling with a chronic condition, we can help you discover how to live a more holistic lifestyle through wellness coaching and the proper selection of hemp-derived CBD products. Visit holisticwellnessboutique.com to schedule a consultation or order an audacious combination of hemp-derived CBD products that will rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit.
Okay, welcome back to Ask Coach Roy. We have a call on the line, Mr. Sherman. Mr. Sherman, what question do you have for Coach Roy today?
I really don't know what's going on. I'm for real.
Okay, well, you're on the air, and we're doing a show on personal credit, business credit, and business funding, and LLC versus a S.Corp. So you have a question about any of those four things?
I'm trying to build that business credit.
You're trying to build business credit? Well, what question you have about business credit?
Well, I can't say right now, Norman, because you kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But I just came on the phone.
Well, okay. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and type in TV 1061 on YouTube, and you can watch the show, and maybe you'll be able to call back in the next 15, 20 minutes with a question, because you're on the air right now. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, back with you. That was a good friend of mine, Mr. Sherman there. And he couldn't think of what he wanted to ask. I've been trying to get to a particular subject. Let me get this call. Okay. Okay, welcome to Ask Coach Roy. How may I help you?
Hi, Coach Roy. I heard you just briefly on the beginning of the segment talking about business structure, LLC and S Corporation. You're talking about funding.
Mm-hmm.
Just have a question. I have a business. Currently have an LLC. That's what I was told to get. But it sounds like from your corporation, it'd be better if I'm looking to want to grow my business and also receive funding. How would I do that?
What type of business do you have?
Actually, I have a lawn care service. I'm looking to expand and grow it into multiple states.
Okay, how long have you been in business?
I've been in business 8 years.
And you don't have a LLC or INC or anything at this time?
No, I have an LLC currently.
Okay, so if you've been in business 8 years, do you have a job in addition to that, or this is your only source of income?
This is my only source of income.
Okay. Did the lawn service net you more than $140,000 last year?
Not over 140. I was like right at 115.
Okay. Then you need to be a S.Corp. And the reason you need to be a S.Corp is because it gives you the ability to fight self-employment tax. What happens is, let's say you say you made $115,000?
Yes, sir.
And how much did you take home?
I took home 60,000 of that.
So that means your expenses was $55,000?
Yes, sir.
So you took home 60,000. Okay, so based on what you're explaining to me, you're a LLC.
Yes, sir.
You took home $60,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what in fact happened to you, you paid 6.2% on FICA, you paid 1.4 on Medicaid, you paid, let's say, I don't know, we'll say somewhere between, depending on how your tax preparer does things, between 10 and 30% on federal, and you paid somewhere between 0 and 13% on state. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now this may become a little confusing, but the bottom line gonna make sense, okay? That's based on your current structure. Well, if you were an S.Corp, okay, and now you brought home that same, your expenses was $55,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that same $60,000, you would be able to then let's see a good way of explaining it. You would be able to take wherein you pay taxes on the full 60, you would be able to take, let's say, 30,000 under this scenario. Okay?
Okay.
Then you'd 1099 yourself the other 30,000. So you probably would save somewhere between $9,000 to $10,000 by using this format.
So so you're saying 1099? I would 1099 myself. So basically,
You're gonna be an employee for part and 1099 for part.
Okay.
And under that S.Corp scenario, it's gonna save you 15. It's gonna save you 15.3% on the profit.
Okay. And I know so basically I need to sit down and with someone, or you have someone on your site that'll kind of give me the guidelines on how to change over my LLC to S.Corp.
Yes, we'll be able to refer you. We'll be able to refer you to a system that will help you save on taxes called I think it's called Learn Your Deductions. So we've partnered up with a company, and they will be on the site, and you'd be able to take advantage of these tax strategies and much more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that helps us with the structure. But yeah, the LLC structure is not the structure you need to be using at this time.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Coach Roy.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. That was a good call. Listen, there's something called credit boards. Something I learned about, about 25 years ago. And it's been a very good thing for me. I wish you could see my computer screen. But for those of you who are near your computer, you could pull up credit boards, or you could just go right to the meat and potatoes and pull up credit pulls. But credit boards is the company, and what it is, when you navigate around this site, it will tell you what companies, what credit bureau they use to pull credit, and what's more recent, like credit. Go to Google and go to credit pulls. Let me see. I think that's it. Credit pulls, and then it'll say dash credit boards. And what you will find, you're able to go in and click on the credit pulls, and you're able to go in and put in the search for credit pulls. Let's say you put your consumer state, okay? We're gonna say the consumer state is Georgia. Let's see, Georgia. GA. Then we're gonna put Bank of America. And when we pull Bank of America, credit pulls Bank of America, now you got to pick the credit bureau. Date applied. I'm gonna just put between we're doing the filters right quick. Bank of America. Found 2,419 results. Bank of America recorded credit pulls. Let's see. Let's see who. Tell you. 12, 121, 212, 27, Equifax. Sorry it's taking so long. Hadn't done this in a while. I've hit South Carolina. Approved, yes. Remember filters, update. Okay, and it's showing the pulls. It's showing the approvals and the scores and things of that nature. So if you're getting ready to do business in your area, you could go to credit pulls, put the information in there. It'll tell you the approvals that people had, the scores they had, and what location they were from, what city, state, and sometimes county. So credit pulls, which is a part of creditboards.com. Go to creditboards.com. It's got all types of information. It'll tell you about the credit process. Okay, we're going to take a break in a few minutes, and we're going to come back, and we're going to deal with funding, business funding. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Michael Cow, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party! All right, see y'all later. Bye.
Okay, welcome back to Ask Coach Roy. And I was trying to explain credit boards, but I think it's self-explanatory. I think you'll find it a very useful tool for you to look at prior to applying for credit. It somewhat gives you an idea of what the lenders have been doing in your area in terms of score-wise, and it'll tell you whether a person had a few derogatory accounts and things of that nature on their credit file. Very helpful when you're getting ready to make an application. You know, we have to be more strategic about applying for credit. I'm one of those people, I don't like getting denied. So therefore, I do all my homework, put my whole package together before I ever apply for anything, whether it's online or in person. I've already done my homework on that lending institution. A lot of people don't realize that most credit unions pull Equifax, especially in this region. Then you have some of them pull Experian. And to give you another hint, most credit card companies use Experian to determine whether they're going to give you a credit card. Always remember that. Experian is the bureau that deals with credit cards. TransUnion deal with cars and / Equifax, especially if you're in the southeast region. So sometimes you can block your Equifax and Experian and go off of your TransUnion when you're trying to make a car purchase. But when you're trying to make a home purchase, you need all three. So you're not going to be able to block and hide if you're trying to make a home purchase. Unless you're trying to make a home purchase through your credit union and your credit union is using Equifax only, and sometimes the credit union got programs where you put 5%, 10%, or 20% down and they're using one bureau. So that's some of the things you have to be conscious of when you're making applications, especially in this economy during the pandemic. Okay? Another thing is, you know, with the credit coach-roy.com, we also have on there how you can remove a inquiry in 24 hours. We also have where you can remove bankruptcy, car repos, foreclosures, tax liens, hospital bills, collections, bad credit cards, voluntary and involuntary repossessions, by the way, on your automobiles. So please go to coach-roy.com and look at the credit information a la carte and do it yourself, as opposed to paying someone the astronomical prices. Because if I do your credit, I'm going to charge $1,500 per bureau, because it's very tedious me learning to be you to accomplish this task and getting information from you. So we have a do-it-yourself plan. We have the executive plan, and that's where you get into dealing with identity theft and all types of stuff. And you also get into blocking the secondary lenders that provide information to the credit bureaus. Okay? Another tip I'd like to give you on building credit. Okay? There are a lot of companies out here. One of them is called, I think it's called Grain. Very unique experience. My daughter was at the house and she told me about this Grain concept. Grain is a company that will give you credit or based on you having a checking account. And you go in, it doesn't require credit. You go in, you do the little application, they come back and give you $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000 line of credit. Let me get this call. Okay, caller, welcome to Ask Coach Roy. How may I help you?
Hey, Coach Roy, this is Calvin calling out of North Carolina.
Okay. My North Carolina people showing up tonight.
Yes, sir. Just had a quick question. I was a little late, so I hope this question isn't redundant. I hope it wasn't already answered. But when you're dealing with business credit, I know like with personal credit, you know, they tell you keep your credit cards under a certain limit. Like, you know, I heard 10%, I heard 25%. So what's a good percentage to keep them at? And also, dealing with business credit, do you have those same guidelines? Like, do you have to keep your cards under a certain percentage when you're dealing with business credit cards?
Oh, that's a tricky question. First of all, on the personal side, the true answer is 30% or less for your credit cards. On the business side, you know, what we have to understand with business is most of the time the business profile you're building with Dun and Bradstreet and Equifax Business and Experian Business, they're really based on more so they're based on net 30s and net 60s, and it's kind of tricky. Let's say that depending on what you're applying for, it wouldn't matter that your gas card under your business and your Visa card under your business is 70 or 80%, because it's a business and they know that in business you use your credit and you leverage your credit and then you pay it out every 30 days. So it's a little different than personal credit. So it's not the same matrix, we'll say. So but the more you use your business credit and pay it off in 30 days, the more credit they'll give you. It's the craziest thing.
Okay. One last quick question. Like, if you don't have business credit established right now, how long is that process from zero to being able to get business credit cards?
Well, if you're structured right in terms of commercial location, EIN number, phone number that is with 411, 911 or whatever, 411, business bank account and so on and so forth, then the process can be, you could actually start getting stuff in a week or so. You know what I mean? But it's going to be net 30s. It's not going to be a MasterCard, a Visa card, a Federal Express. You know what I mean? But you can get companies like Granger and Quill and the T-shirt company. It's about, it's about 50 different companies that will extend credit to you, and you're able to get some of the products that you need to leverage your company and then go back and pay it off. And as you do that, it's going to that helps build your paydex scores. And then in addition to building your paydex score, you get to the point you're able to show the cash flow through the bank account. And you're able to get lease a piece of equipment and so on and so forth. And one thing just kind of lead to another. So it's a process that in the first 30 days, you're already beginning to get funding. In 6 months, I could probably have you to where you've probably gotten $400,000-$500,000 worth of funding.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, that was my last question. I appreciate you.
Okay, then. Thank you for calling, Calvin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. We have 1 minute, and I'm going to close by saying thank you for watching the Ask Coach Roy show every Monday, 7 p.m. And we're going to try to give you some information on building your personal credit, building your business. We will have a gentleman in the next couple of weeks talking about cryptocurrency. We have another gentleman coming in to talk about the stock market. In addition to that, we'll have an Atlanta police officer. She'll be coming in to talk about how they see it, the police, and talking about bridging the gap with us in the Atlanta Police Force. Oh, so thank you very much. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Ask Coach Roy, and I'll give you an answer. Thank you very much.